Hey, hi guys. My name is Sai Kiran, and I have got today Ajay Maru sir. He's the CTO of Boom Gaming, one of companies which is based out of Canada. And hi sir, how are you?
I'm very good. Thanks. It's really good to be chatting with you right now.
Done, sir. Thank you. Like, I have one more thing, guys. He's my board of advisory member, and he had helped us a lot in creating our entire B.Tech CSE program. So, I just wanted to ask you three questions, sir. Very simple three questions. Number one,
Yeah.
you have worked in India, service-based companies, product-based companies, UK, US, Canada. Now, these many countries you have worked, many times you have hired a lot of people, and I'm sure many of them may be freshers. So, what is the challenge that you see whenever you hire freshers?
Right. So I think one of the biggest. I mean, there are a few, and some of these are challenges, but at the same time, they are great opportunities also because you're getting raw talent that has the hunger and desire to succeed. But overall, I think the lack of industry experience, that's one of the biggest challenge, not because they don't have experience, but primarily because of the lack of professional experience, it becomes a little bit difficult to gauge their skills, their problem solving abilities, their adaptability to work culture and the company culture, etc. The experience will come. There is no problem. But in the beginning, to ensure that whether this person is going to be a right fit for the role and for the company, that assessment becomes a little bit difficult. Secondly, a skills gap, which is quite surprising to me. Like in today's day and age, we're still seeing that the skills that are taught in the universities and colleges, they don't always align with what's needed in the industry. So there is almost sort of an unsaid rule or acceptability. Like everyone assumes that when you hire a fresh graduate for 6 months, we're not going to get any real productivity boost,
Got it.
which is not how it should be. Like but many a times I've seen that the graduates, they would have great theoretical knowledge, but no proficiency in industry practices or the tools and technologies currently in use in the industry. So that kind of leads to my next point. Training and onboarding challenges with fresh graduates. They require a lot of training, mentoring, onboarding, just so that we can bridge that gap between the academic knowledge and the needs of the job, that role that they are going to fulfill. Now, this uh, uh, is essentially an investment. Like I see it as an investment into that candidate, but it does pose challenges in terms of availability of a team member to be assigned as a mentor,
Got it.
to assign them to a team where they can actually learn and grow. Those aspects are sort of what poses a little bit of challenges. We see a little bit of productivity drop in the very beginning, for example, in the overall team, even though we are adding a new member to the team.
Got it.
Um, that sort of puts a strain on the productivity. The whole mentorship and guidance program, that it has to, number one, it has to be structured. Like you can't just throw a fresh graduate into the mix and say, what, start swimming. So there has to be some mentorship and guidance program that needs to be sort of pre-planned, etc. The uh, and like I said, this is an investment to ensure that we get not just good productivity from the person, but also a lot of focus on the retention and growth aspect for the fresh graduates. Like, these kids coming out of university, they are hungry.
Yep.
Like, they are
Yep.
hungry for growth, to define their career, to go in a certain direction. A lot of them have clarity as well. It's just that they're not well equipped on day one. So there are then challenges to make sure that the investment that I'm doing in a batch of fresh graduates that I've hired, the investment of time, money, effort that I'm doing, that is fulfilled or pays off in terms of retaining them. I
Yep.
don't, and it has happened. Like, we get fresh graduates 6 months, everything is going great. They develop skills, they learn the knowledge and everything, and they leave.
Leave.
Yes, they get a bump in role, they get a bump in salary, which is the sort of cost of doing business. But it puts a challenge on, like
Back
it
onto the
becomes
company.
exactly that there was something that we could not fulfill.
Yep.
Like, we could not provide enough growth or retention or experiences that the new student or the fresh graduate was seeking. So these are sort of the challenges. There's another issue around cultural fit as well, which becomes challenging, which is more of a challenge I see it as more of a challenge for the student or for the fresh graduate, because they haven't had any exposure to the industry. They find the culture, the work culture, a little bit different, in some cases a lot different from what they have been used to throughout their schooling year, throughout their undergraduate studies, etc. So adapting to this new culture can sometimes become challenging for them, and we have to sort of make sure that walk them through and ensure sort of symbiotic relationship, if you like it.
Got
So
it. Got it. Got it. Now, sir, as you mentioned, right, it is very difficult to find candidates who are skilled enough to be productive from day one they join a company, right? That is one challenge. The second challenge is, even after investing behind a resource fresh graduate, in terms of training, in terms of mentoring, in terms of providing that culture, what they are expecting, growth factors, everything, still when they leave, retention is becoming a very big challenge, right?
correct.
So these are the two challenges that you see whenever you get any fresh graduate, whenever you hire. These are the two challenges, as you mentioned. Now, what do you think, how much of this is a problem because of the kind of engineering programs, B.Tech engineering programs, which are running across Indian universities or universities in general? Because of that, these freshers are not able to get that skilled, or like that cultural mindset they are not able to get, and they are leaving soon, right? Endurance test is not there, right? So what do you
Right.
think? Is it because of the engineering programs, or like what are the problems that you see in these engineering programs?
Right. So I think one of the biggest challenge or the problem that I see with many engineering programs is that it's sort of the curriculum is not up to date.
Got it.
And it is especially true with fields like computer science and technology. We have, a very fast-paced, like the world is changing very fast, very quickly. 6 months ago, nobody knew about AI except people who are actually working in the field.
Got it.
Now, every single person knows about AI. It has exploded.
Yep.
Same thing, like if you go back 20 years, 19, 20 years, nobody knew Facebook.
Yep.
It was launched, and even if you go further back, Yahoo used to be a giant.
Yep.
Google came along, two students, they created Google and they decimated the industry. They
Yep.
carved out their own space. That all happened very, very quickly. Like, the change that is happening, not just today, but in the technology field, the changes have been happening very fast. Curriculum is not able to keep pace with that. You know, it has to be very nimble, or at least keep pace with some of the changes that are happening in the industry. It's all very theoretical today. There
Got
is
it.
no there is no focus on hands-on, real practical experiences that will actually equip the student to be more productive, to be more successful in their careers, which is primarily because of very limited or non-existent collaboration with the industry. Like, you've got a lot of these. I'm sort of amazed how an engineering program is being run. It appears like it's being run on an island.
Yep. Got it.
No connections to the industry, with no real except for, okay, please come to our university for placement,
Yep.
and
Take our
hire our
candidates.
student.
Apart from
You
that, there is
can't.
no real connection. It's running like a separate island itself somewhere.
It's exactly, and that's like it's strange. It's strange. I mean, you are trying to prepare students for an industry without having any hooks in the industry.
Yep.
It has to be. It has to be. Well, anyway, that's more of a rant than anything.
ठीक है.
The
I
other few things I've seen is, soft skills are quite undervalued.
Yep.
They are There isn't enough focus on developing communications, teamwork, problem solving. These are all quite critical in technology field. So, not having enough focus on these soft skill development is harming the students, because you've got great theoretical knowledge, but you can't work as a part of a team, or you struggle working as a part of a team, and you have to learn that from the beginning when you enter the workforce. Not a great place to start, but if there is a little bit more focus on these soft skill development, that would help them greatly. And then lastly, again, which sort of goes back to the first point in terms of the keeping pace with the industry. There isn't enough focus on latest emerging technologies, and it's a two-edged sword. Every new technology comes up, like some of the times it's a fad for 3 months,
Yep.
hypes up and dies down. So it's not beneficial to be too reactive
Yep.
to the industry trends, but at the same time, it would help a great deal to at least keep a little bit in sync with what's happening in the industry. And the last point I would say, which I see as lacking, and is not a lot of focus on innovation and entrepreneurship.
Got it.
You have to assume that the students of today are going to be the titans of tomorrow,
Got it.
and you have to start that early on. Like, entrepreneurship is not a separate entity. It has to be part of
The
the whole
the
culture,
learning process.
the whole learning process. It just doesn't mean, and entrepreneurship, it doesn't mean that we're going to go and launch the next Google or the next Facebook. Entrepreneurship is useful when you have to take initiative of or ownership of a product within the team that you're working on.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Those are the skills that help you, like, in your career, in you becoming a great leader. So a lack of focus on those also I see as an issue with a lot of programs that I've sort of had an opportunity to learn about.
Got it, sir. So, I mean, very insightful like discussion that we have had like till now. Number one that you have mentioned is curriculum is up to like totally not up to the date, and which is required. The industry collaboration is very much missing in into these programs which have been run, and because of this they are completely running in a different island. I just like that concept, like, hey, that factory is somewhere out there, and only the time
Yeah,
that this island contacts the mainland is when it is about to ship our candidates to the mainland, that is
right.
placements. And soft
Yeah,
skills is missing very much, like how to talk to my boss after office hours, from that to how should I present my entire project ideas, to convert my ideas into words, is also missing, and that
exactly.
is very important part. Entrepreneurship,
Absolutely.
I like that's business skill. Basically business acumen is not there, then what is the entire point of having this skill? And like I
Right.
like the entire quote that you gave: students of today are titans of tomorrow, right? So I think I'll quote you,
That's
or
how you have to.
this will be your quote, which I will put up your photograph, and this will be the quote that I will frame it in my BOA wall in the campus. I think apart from, if you have anything better than this, amazing, or else this is the best, right? Which I can quote you there in the wall,
Sounds good.
right?
I'll see if I can send you a little bit more elaborate on this, but no, thank you.
And done. So now let's move on to the last question. Like,
Yeah.
what is your take on the B.Tech CSE program that you, me, and the entire other board of advisors have created together, which is going to be launched this year in ITM Skills University, Navi Mumbai, in collaboration with Let's Upgrade? What is your take on that? So we discussed about like 75% should be technology and 25% should be communication, business, entrepreneurship, networking. That one aspect we innovated together. Sprint model, that 10 days one subject, let it gets done, and then projects we will be building only project based evaluation rather than pen and paper assignments, networking events, and all the things that we discussed. So what is your take on this entire program?
Right. So the best thing that I liked about the program is, I mean, number one, you're actually taking the initiative to reach out to people in the industry who've been in the industry for a while, to make sure that you get their feedback, to understand what the gaps are, and to try and fill those and bridge those gaps.
Yeah.
So it's a very industry aligned curriculum. It's it has it's aligned with the recent trends, the requirements. It covers the core computer science concepts as well as emerging technologies and skills that are in high demand. For example, it has focus on all those aspects, which is great. And the practical, hands-on learning aspect that bridges that gap we spoke about earlier. You've got great theoretical knowledge, but no practical skills,
Yep.
no
Yep.
hands-on learning.
Yep.
So a strong fundamental understanding of CS concept and the practical knowledge of tools and technologies that are currently, they're equally important. You
Yep.
can't have one and not the other.
Yep.
Uh, and there is a great balance between, in the curriculum, with between the fundamental concepts of computer science, the tools and technologies, the industry practices, and it seems to be a reflection of what is needed to equip the students so that they can hit the ground running.
Yep.
And on top of that, the internship program is really refreshing to see. It will be the most beneficial aspect for and it will be something that's going to set you apart from thousands of other
Engineering programs.
institutes and curriculums. It is it is it is going to ensure that they're successful in their careers, and it'll prepare them to be future leaders. The overall focus on, and I think I mentioned this earlier as well, the focus on soft skill and the business aspects, the focus on entrepreneurship, the focus on that's that's really useful. Like, it enhances the critical thinking. It enhances the skills that is required for them to succeed. Or I mean, we're talking about succeed. These are the skills that are required for them to even assimilate into the workforce.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
if you have these skills day one,
Yep.
then you are equipped to be more successful than your peers
Yep.
who are being exposed to this for the first time in their life.
100%. 100%, sir. 100%.
And the other thing I also see, like we talked about it a little bit earlier, that the tech world is a very fast-paced, dynamic, and changing landscape.
Yeah.
So, and I see that over the years, I see this curriculum developing, like, with you trying to incorporate the new trends, you incorporating the new direction the industry is moving in by offering more electives, for example,
Yes.
by
Yes.
offering tailoring the existing course so that it is more aligned with what's needed today, what's needed right now, where the industry is going. It's being, and I think you have an advantage on that
Yeah.
because this is being done from ground up, from scratch.
Yes.
You don't have the legacy chains of legacy, like, binding you to something which is
Stick
already
with
there
that.
that you
Stick
can't
stick with
break
that
free.
particular traditional mindset.
Right. And that, I think, is a great asset. That, I think, is a great place to be in, to be able to make sure that you are aligned with the industry, you are aligned with where the tech world is going, you are aligned with what is in demand, so that the students, the graduates, they are better equipped to not just assimilate with the workforce, but to explore new horizons. Like, who knows, one of your students right now could be the first developer to develop the tools and systems on Mars.
Yeah, possible.
Hey, I got a 3-year contract to develop the life support systems on Mars. Oh.
Nice. So one thing which I'll say here
So
is like ITM group has been around from last 32 years, like 8 colleges, 3 universities now. The third university is in Bombay, apart from Baroda and Raipur. Already we were running engineering programs in Baroda, Raipur, mass scale engineering programs in B.Tech CSE and other cohorts. But here in Mumbai, whenever we thought of like launching B.Tech CSE, we had a very clear-cut thought process. The chairman, Dr. P. V. Ramana sir, Nitin Pucha sir, CEO, and us, the ground team who are working on this entire project along with you and the other board of advisors, we will launch something which guarantees employment end of the day. From get go, day one, the candidate is able to produce certain results or at least be 100x ahead of the people who will join him in that company from other colleges. With that mindset, we created this entire program. This covers A to Z everything, right? I mean, like in the curriculum development we met. Apart from that, it has now enhanced in such a way. Networking events, 13 plus tech communities have now partnered up with us to give exclusive access to these students in all the tech events. Google Summer of Code and other open source communities are now partnered with us in terms of like, hey, they will be our open source contributors in various projects. So these all things have lined up so beautifully that we guys are like, wow, this is going to create something, a next big innovation from India, and this entire world will look up to. So the very, very good collaboration from industry and academics together.
absolutely. And just to give you an example, um, uh, the whole guarantee, or
The
from
job
day one,
guarantee.
the focus on job guarantee. I mean, there are so many other things that I like about the curriculum that the job guarantee didn't even make the cut in my top list.
Yep.
And it's like nobody else does that. Nobody gives job guarantee,
Yep.
right? It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy target to have.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I think the reason it didn't even make my cut of like top things I like about this course and curriculum is because that's just going to be a natural outcome.
Yep. Yep.
You might
Yep.
not even have to. You might not even have to put an effort into fulfilling that guarantee, because the idea is you teach a man to
You
fish.
you basically take you draw such a big line that the line of 8 LP is way down below as compared to the line that you're drawing. I met the other
Absolutely.
day the CTO of Man Matters, okay, Shavik Gupta. When I showed him the entire curriculum and all, he was like, good curriculum, everything he praised. But apart from that, he said, why are you guaranteeing a job? You're setting the aspirations of the student on a job very low. You're playing very safe. If a student can do this much, the candidate is automatically able to start their own unicorns. If they go in a right direction in terms of startups, they can create
Right.
their own unicorns. So that is a target that we will set up going forward. But yes, sir, rightly said, the cutoff of this particular curriculum is such that students will outpace 8 LPA easily.
Yes, and I am certain of that.
Yep.
I'm really excited.
I'm
This
super
is
thankful, sir. I'm so thanks to you that you are one of my board advisors and who gave us this direction that, hey, sir, I take this direction and this is the our expectations, right? I met Mahmood Mansoori, sir, one of your colleagues, and
yeah,
I am supposed to meet Monday our Sandeep Mehta, sir. So all these people, right, they have grilled so much the ground team, the curriculum team, and every one of us that ये क्या बना के लाए, इससे अच्छा बना के लाओ, जाओ और sprint करो, और sprint, next sprint, next sprint, next sprint. So the curriculum is developed very well. That's what I'll say, and it all
yeah.
happened because of you and other board of advisors involvement. Thanks a lot. Thank you for managing the time for
Thank
this,
you, thank you.
and that's what I'll say. And so we are waiting for you to come to campus, meet the first cohort of student, teach some or other topic. At the same time, also see the live cohort that you have helped us create.
Yes, that's absolutely one of the things that I am also aiming to do. Once I've got the feel for logistics and everything else, is something that I'm actually looking forward to.
Yeah. So in Canada, like, how do you see, like, which like, I'll ask you one last question. In Canada, if
Yep.
these candidates have to get a remote job, right? These candidates want to aim for a remote job in Canada, or like go to Canada and work there. What is the threshold that you expect them to pass to come to Canada and work there, or get a remote job of that country?
Right. So I think the biggest challenge that newcomers to Canada would face is Canadian experience,
Yeah.
and that sort of is a little bit deeper than just working for a Canadian company. Uh, the whole culture, the lifestyle, the culture, the work culture is quite different from the work culture in India, for example.
Yeah.
The basic tenets remain the same. You work hard, and you see the result. That basic tenet remains the same, but the overall Canadian experience, that is, and it's chicken and egg thing. You have to work in Canada to get Canadian experience, and you need Canadian experience to be hired in Canada. So that it's a little bit tricky. But having said that, one of the things that I think the Canadian government is doing is that they have some really amazing programs to ensure that immigrants they are successful in establishing themselves in this new setting,
Yeah.
in this new country. So as long as you are willing to take that leap, as long as you are willing to, put in the effort, it is a great place. It's an amazing place to work. It is the quality of life is really good. Like and at the same time, you can still feel like you have brought your culture with you. So
Yeah.
you don't have being Canadian means that you be who you are.
Wow.
So I think I think based on all of those sort of aspects, it's a really good place for the newcomers to start. I would advise that it would be beneficial to have some industry experience before
You.
deciding on moving here, or I'm pretty sure a lot of the students would have aspirations to do postgraduate studies.
Yeah.
Even that, it's a really good place to be,
In
and
Canada.
there are really good programs to get people started. The idea is that if a student is coming here, we want to keep that student here. You graduate from here, you work here. We don't want you to go back to where you came from,
Got it.
because yeah. So a very immigrant friendly
Country.
community. So and again, I do see, or at least hope, that some of the students will come here
Yeah.
and part of this vibrant community as well.
100%, 100%. I have some surprise thing going on there. I will not reveal it in public domain right now. I will text you after this call.
So
It is something
absolutely.
related to Canada that we are working on, and I'll share you the entire details of that right after this call. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank
Sure.
you. Thank you for your time. It's like early in the morning there,
No, it
and
was.
thank you for
Yeah.
just being up and like making out for this particular interview. And yes, we will post this interview very soon, and I'll share you this link.
Sounds good, Saikiran.
Thank you.
Like always, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much, and hope to talk to you soon again.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.